Alrighty, so we are starting our today's live Instagram live. I am joined by a student who is Silvius. He's a current engineering student. So if you have questions for Silvius about his academic journey, and that is in engineering, please feel free to do that. And to be more specific, he is in mechanical engineering. So keep that in mind if you are a prospective student who is interested in joining mechanical engineering. Silvius is a great resource to ask questions of the program, ask about the courses, all that sort of stuff. Hey Silvius, congratulations on getting admitted to mechanical engineering to one of our viewers. I see that. I'm going to ask you, how did you pick your program? Sort of like, where did it all begin for you within engineering and that passion?
It's like, first of all, I really like, it's a childhood dream to be like aviation stuff, like involved in aviation sector. So especially like in aerospace. However, like you cannot jump directly to aerospace first. So actually, like if you want to play a safe, like in your career path, so mechanical engineering is a kind of like a big thing, and then they're going down to a small part like aeronautical, aerospace, or like automobile or something like that. So I choose mechanical engineering to be safe.
It's a good path into that aerospace and aerodynamic field.
Because you can study other stuff. Yes. And then so especially like in LACAD, they offer a good like engineering program. So I choose like mechanical engineering. And then as you may know, like if because like in Canadian university, I think it's only LACAD University have a diploma and a degree program. It's like 2 years. So right now I already graduate from the diploma. So I just still continue my year 3 and go into my year 4. So we've been like complete the 4 years of bachelor degree. Especially like in Canada, if you study engineering, your certificate, like your degree certificate, should be certified by the Professional Engineering Ontario. If you study in Ontario, or other provinces, they have their own professional engineering.
For sure.
And then it's very important that your university being recognized by a Canadian Engineering Accreditation Board. So if you want to go towards like very professional engineering career path, so your degree should be recognized by CEAP.
For sure. And LACAD's, to speak to our undergraduate engineering program, which, as you said, you're a part of in the mechanical side, we are the only university that it provides our students with that 2-year technology diploma. So after their first and second year, you actually would get that technology diploma and you can begin working in your field with that diploma. So during those summer months is really important to start getting that relevant experience and working for companies that offer obviously end goal job offers to degree students, people that have their bachelor's of engineering. And so also speaking to that, like the fact that our programs are recognized by the Canadian Engineering Accreditation Board is really important because that board holds a standard for all engineering programs in Canada. And if you're not accredited by it, that speaks to kind of the offerings of that program. So the fact that we are accredited, we're really proud to share that, and it just shows to the quality of education and the rigorous education that we're providing too. So then moving on, obviously we chatted now about what made you want to get into mechanical engineering and where your goal is to be eventually in the future. Maybe you could chat a bit about kind of what your favorite part of the program is, or what your favorite thing to do in that program is.
It's like the first things like in my program is because I like aerodynamic stuff, but it's not kind of like there's a course for that one. But actually the program is like well equipped. So you can like ask your professor, especially like every professor, they have their own research. So it's very, in that case, it's like very easy to approach your professor. And second thing is like we do have like student society. Especially like, I enroll in engineering student society. So this student society actually will help a lot of students in academic advising. Like it's not like professional academic advising, but they can certainly give you like, because a lot of senior, right? So you give you a kind of like clue about this course, what you expect from this course, or what you expect from this professor. So actually quite easy to be approached with engineering student society. And then every engineering discipline have their own student chapters. So just like I'm in mechanical engineering, so I can join CSME, which is the Canadian Student Society of Mechanical Engineering. So you can join their chapters. Especially like in LACAD, we have a degree project. So what is degree project? Just like degree project is in your last year, your senior year, which is before you graduate, you need to enroll in degree project. So you can choose your own teammate, or you can choose your own topic you want to research about, and then you can choose your professor to help you, like to supervise you. But for me, I want to join a Formula SAE racing car project team. So I just want to talk more about SAE racing car. So every year, the degree project, they will have one group is doing a racing car. This racing car is going to competition in USA, in Michigan. So this racing car team should be, is like require a lot of like team members. So some team member will be going research in their aerodynamic, in their structure, in their speed. So for me, why I want to join, because like there's a team is doing based on the structure and in aerodynamic stuff. So it's one of my passion. So I want to go for that. Yeah.
Awesome. And so speaking to kind of the degree project also, can you speak also to some of the research that you've already done in your program that you've already
I did done about like the MATLAB stuff, like mechatronics research, because I do my technological project in my diploma. So I do research about the Hexapod. It's a steward platform, which requires six legs and then moving it. So it requires a basic knowledge about MATLAB. Okay. So just now there's a question about like how MATLAB is very important for engineering. Yes, it's very important. And then there's one course is just only for MATLAB, just teaching about MATLAB and computation method. Yes, in your third year.
Awesome. And so you've now completed that course, or was that a part of this semester?
Yeah, I really completed that course actually. I have my exam last week.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, congratulations. So speaking a bit more to the degree project now in the Formula SAE car, obviously you filled us in about kind of what's involved in it, but could you also speak to how it's tied to your degree itself? So what sort of studies are involved in that project that then are beneficial to your degree?
It's like the degree project, the meaning itself is like within these 4 years, what you learn. And then it's like actually like you're learning not only your engineering basic, like statics, dynamics, or like fluid mechanics or fluid dynamics, everything like you need to, it's just like a pre-practice before you going out to society, like as working as an engineering as your career. So you need to dealing with like not only the school stuff, you need to dealing with sponsorship, you need to dealing with your teammates, like interpersonal skills, everything. Just like kind of like a pre-model of your working as a career.
And so obviously once you graduate with your undergrad and you maybe go into an engineering firm, you're going to be at an entry-level job and you're going to have to work with your teammates on a regular basis, and then you're going to have to coordinate with your managers and your bosses and your supervisors and all those people. So learning those interpersonal skills so that you can work in a team environment is also very important. But the fact that within your degree project you're also working with external groups or external partners, that professional line of communication is another great asset to learn. So I know that we've tied, we actually have options for students to complete their MBA after completing their engineering program. And that's actually been quite popular so far because students see the value in having their engineering bachelor's, but then also understanding the concepts behind running a business, because who knows, maybe how that's going to assist them or what their end goal is. They could want to open their own engineering firm, and having that MBA attached to it is also very important too.
Yeah, it's actually we have an elective course. You can choose like not only in engineering. There's like 3 courses you can you require 3 courses like not from engineering. So basically I choose like politics science because I like politics. But you for those people who like a business, you can choose like introduction to business. It's very crucial for your future career, because I don't think like you can go towards engineering, but you need to like know what other people do. So it's enhancing your soft skills.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so we do have a question right here. It's going to be, I'll answer this one. Can we complete our master's in 3 semesters? So that's a really great question. There's different options for the master's. So for this student specifically, what I do is, what I would encourage you to do is direct message us after our lives today, and our social media team on that end will answer those direct messages, and they can connect with you to chat more about the options for completing your master's degree. Alrighty. So I also see a few questions about co-op. So this question is, how is the term separated well in co-op program and the timing of classes? So for students that are studying in co-op, you would not simultaneously do classes or the co-op term. It's one or the other. But there are requirements to get in the program. So there are minimum admission requirements. You have to have a certain grade within your course. And we have a dedicated student success center that works with our current students to then secure those co-op placements. And obviously, if you graduate with your co-op experience, we've seen in many cases students that leave that company after the 1 year, go back to school for maybe a year or two. They continue working part-time, then even graduate out with a full-time job already available. So it's something definitely students are interested in. And if you are looking to learn more, next Monday we'll be doing a live webinar with our career services team. So we'll have co-op there, we'll have our career zone coordinator there, and we'll chat all about careers and options for you as a student. So I'm just being mindful of the time. Like we had said, today's session is going to be a bit different. So it's a 4-part Instagram Live. We just are wrapping up our second part. In the next section, join us again. So in about a minute, you'll want to hear about Silvius's journey to co-found a club on campus and help connect Southeast Asian students at Lakehead. Thanks again, Silvius. So like I was just saying, part 3 of the Instagram Live today, chatting about student experience. Obviously, we've covered the basics of your journey to Canada, your academics at Lakehead, which is your studies in mechanical engineering on the Thunder Bay campus. But now we're going to chat about all the clubs and everything that you've been involved in, which is quite a feat, to be completely honest. And so, like I had told viewers of our part 2, you actually helped co-found a club to help connect Southeast Asian students on campus. So if I could get you to speak to some of the clubs and what your student experience has been like on campus thus far.
It's because like Southeast Asian is quite minority in Lakehead University. So Southeast Asian is including like Malaysia, Brunei, Indonesia, Singapore, that area. So it's actually quite small, but like, so I helped one of my friends like to be like founding this club, because it's very necessary, because we expect there more students from there. So it's already like in 20 years didn't have Malaysians study in this university. So it's very brand new for us. So we just founding it and make us done very handsome. Because it's very in between. Like, especially Malaysia is a multiracial country. So I'm ethnic Chinese. Some is like ethnic Malay, ethnic Indian. They are mostly Tamilian. So, yeah.
Awesome. And then could you also speak to kind of how you connect with those students and what you do to celebrate your your varied cultures and whatnot?
It's actually we've been like always prepared for the culture days with help by the LUSU, help by
Is
the Leke University Student Union. So every year we have like a big culture day. So you can represent your country. So like as a Southeast Asian, mostly we have Malaysian, Indonesian, and Singaporean. So we represent these three countries during the culture days.
For sure. And so for some of our viewers that aren't familiar, we actually have our culture days on campus. So there's some hosted by the Lakehead University Student Union, where it's a massive get together on in the Agora. This is speaking to our Thunder Bay campus. And there's over 20 different cultures represented and giving out foods and samples and speaking about their culture and heritage. And then also within the International Student Lounge, every few weeks we host a different region of the world to share games, music, food again. And it's just a great time for students to connect and meet fellow friends within that culture, but also explore other cultures. So it's not limited. If you were Sylvius to host a Southeast Asian Culture Day with an international center, anyone can join. So students from all over the world are encouraged to go try the food, meet Sylvius, chat with him, get to hear about his experience in Malaysia, and also just learn more about the different cultures there. So I believe you have a photo for us to share about the culture days.
Okay, let me get a photo first. Sorry.
No worries. In the meantime, I can chat about clubs. So for those students that are interested, Sylvius did start the Southeast Asian Society, but there's several other clubs on campus. Awesome. So this photo, do you want to explain it a bit while you keep it on your screen?
It's like every term, like an international, we've been like giving out students the opportunity to expand their culture during this culture day. So we have a session just like last term, we have Friday as the culture day stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's our term to be like to hosting the culture day for to introduce Southeast Asian. So this is like the photo that we take. It's including like Singaporean, Malaysian, and Indonesian. Yeah.
Awesome. And so this was in the International Student Lounge on the Thunder Bay campus, obviously. So like I was saying, you've been involved in many clubs on campus, and you even have a few that are upcoming. But could you chat about your experience with the Engineering Student Society also?
Oh, like I'm a director of international relations. So it's the first position that I hold, like as an international student represent international student in Engineering Student Society. As everyone know, like international student play a important role in every aspect, especially like in engineering is like most international student will choosing engineering. So what my position do is like engaging international student with Faculty of Engineering. So I speak up with the Faculty of Engineering in international perspective, like their views about how can engineering can be improved in our school. And second is like I did join two of the conferences which held by the Canadian Federation of Engineering Students. Mm-hmm. So I went to Montreal and went to Waterloo. Like Canadian Federation of Engineering Students is linking all the Canadian university undergrad engineering students, because they want to know more about international students, what they do in university. So I always represent Leke University, speak out to all the university, discuss with especially University of Waterloo or McGill about how can we increase the engagement of international students.
For sure, yeah. And obviously having someone with a dedicated position on Lakehead's Engineering Student Society, being able to also go to these national conferences and sharing your voice and hearing from your constituents in a sense, so that international student body that's already in engineering at Lakehead, they obviously have a great resource within you to then voice their concerns or bring ideas up to the table, and then you can then relay that message to the rest of the team, but also to higher powers that can help you oversee and can give you guidance in that too. So that's really exciting to see that obviously you've been involved in that process. And I think it's a really important role to have within ESS to make sure that we're covering all of our bases and we're hearing from a diverse student population on campus. So I know that you went to a few conferences. Do you have some photos from those conferences too?
I do. I need to pull it up.
No worries, yeah. And so these conference photos, for those that aren't aware, so this is when you were in Waterloo at
it's a conference about, yes, it's about sustainability in engineering. So it's talking about a lot of like what the world have been done in engineering perspective, especially in sustainability.
Awesome. And are you in the photo on the right there? Oh yes, I see.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, with my roommates.
Are they all from Lakehead or were they?
Oh no, I'm the only one like in that picture from Lakehead. There's from University of Calgary and University of Windsor.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So obviously it's a very diverse group from quite several schools joining to discuss topics revolving around engineering education in Canada and kind of initiatives and student participation and engagement and all that sort of stuff.
Yes, and then I do take some of the robot in
cool.
Waterloo. Yeah.
Awesome. And so I know that you are going to be you're incoming to a few different positions. Do you want to chat about those?
It's like I'm incoming board of directors in LUSU. It's like I just won in the election. So I've been working with 7 of another board of directors, just like being an advising team for the executive team of LUSU. Which basically is like we will gather all the students what they want, the voice of student, in every aspect, not only school, about like the whole thing into LUSU. Because Lakehead University Student Union is actually help all the students, including domestic student and international student, to fight for their rights.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so your passion lies within kind of representing that student voice. It's clear because you are representing the international engineering student voice within ESS and then on the broader national level too, but then joining Lakehead University Student Union Board of Directors. And then I also know that you're going to be on the Senate committee this year for Lakehead University in general for that administration side. So do you want to speak to that briefly?
It's just like in this committee, we just review and discuss. Sometimes we debate about what the university want to do regarding with academic stuff. Like if they want to change the course description, it need to passing through these committees, or they want to add some course, or they want to cancel the course. They also need to pass through this committee. It's related with undergraduate studies.
Okay, awesome. So you'll have a voice and the power to kind of fight for classes and diverse classes, but also keep maybe ones that are just tried and true and love. Not that I would imagine that if students love a class, professors don't typically cancel them for any reason.
It's like we need to update because like if Ministry of Education, they update their stuff, we need to follow that.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's important. Obviously, we're accredited and we're monitored by a board for Ontario, which is the Ministry of, I believe it's training and education along the lines of that. And they do that for all schools within Ontario. So it's curriculum that is set out by their ministry, but then of course we take it and once we have our courses approved, we can expand on that learning and provide different opportunities. So I do see one question here so far that I'd be happy to answer. So is it easy to get a TA on campus? So that's speaking to our master level students who are completing a graduate program. For students that are looking for a graduate assistantship, I do encourage you to connect directly with your supervisor, or if you're going into a course base, connect with somebody who's doing a field of study that you are interested in, and express that interest to become a GA with them. It's not guaranteed for international students or for any student for that matter. It is something that we, of course, have available, but there are limited positions. So we do encourage you to connect with professors and connect with faculty members to see if they have any opportunities. Lots of our GA ships are also provided to students once they actually arrive and they have a chance to kind of explore and meet those professors. So then the professors are confident in their choice of who they're going to have helping them with their teaching efforts. So, as I've mentioned before, today's Instagram Live is a 4-part series. So I will wrap this one up right now. And you'll join us for part 4, where Silvius is going to chat about how he helped plan in an international orientation here on the Thunder Bay campus for hundreds of students. So planning a large event like that is not a small task. And he's going to chat about how he did that as a part of one of his on-campus roles here at Lakehead. So we'll be back in just a minute. I look forward to seeing you again. Welcome back for our last session here. So part 4, Silvius, we're going to chat about work and study experience, and we are going to chat with students. So for some of our viewers that are new, if you haven't already joined us for previous sessions, Silvius is a current student on the Thunder Bay campus studying engineering. We've already covered academics. We've covered his journey to Canada. We just chatted about his student experience and all the clubs that he's involved in. And then we also are happy to answer your questions. So if you have questions for Silvius about part-time jobs, his study experience, please feel free to either submit them in the comments or the question box. Otherwise, I will pass it off to Silvius to kind of chat about his part-time job on campus as the international student assistant within our student services department.
Hey everyone. I do as international student assistant, which this work is like much more like office work in Lakehead International. Just let you guys know, if you have a study permit, and then you need to check the down part of the study permit is actually stated, are you eligible to working? So if you are eligible for working during the school terms, if you work off campus, you just only can work up to 20 hours a week. But if you work on campus, inside the campus, you can work up to any hour that you want. You can up to the limit. But during the summer, you can work 40 hours a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so obviously with student study permits, like Silvius has mentioned, so study permits come out in a variety of methods and have different terms right on there. We actually are very lucky to have an in-house international immigration advisor. So her name is Jennifer, and she's accredited through IRCC. And she helps students with those questions and helps them understand their study permit a bit more if they're confused about where they can work, whether they can work on campus, off campus, how much they can work. Full-time international students can work up to 20 hours a week during regular academic school year. And then during any scheduled breaks, any scheduled academic breaks, that is. So typically on the fall reading week, winter reading week, or winter break for Christmas, or the spring reading week. Also, if you're an undergraduate student and you are not completing courses in the summer, those are those scheduled academic breaks, and you can work full-time hours during that. So it's definitely something that our students participate in. We have lots of students that have part-time jobs on campus, off campus in the community, and we're always looking to provide more opportunities too. So as new job postings come up within the community, we're always sharing those with our current students on our social media channels. So chatting more about your part-time job, Silvius, like we said, it's the international student assistant within international student services. So you are based out of the International Student Lounge on the Thunder Bay campus. During the school year, how many hours do you work a week typically?
More than 10 hours a week.
Okay, and then during the summer, you're working full-time, typically like about 40 hours?
Yeah, sometimes we're there, but depends on your schedule. It's actually like working as an international student assistant in Lakehead is like my coworkers are very nice, especially like Lahama and Prabjot. They are very, very nice. So they always like been like, discussing like how like our schedule work. So we always pass our schedule to like my supervisor, Sarah Melvin.
Yep.
So she always like work with our schedule, so it's easy to communicate with our supervisor. And then the second thing is like working as an international student assistant. Is more engaging with international students. Especially we held a lot of events, so we are the one who plan, who engage with the student. We need to research everything. So actually, like we learn a lot. Like I learned a lot from this position. Actually, I held last summer, last fall intake. So I'm always been doing the international student orientation.
For
So
sure.
it's I'm the lead coordinator, and we've been helping one of my previous coworker, Riley, to organize all the airport pickups, all the events in the orientation.
Yeah, so it's really important, obviously, to offer us as much of a smooth transition as we can. And so that airport pickup process is something that we offer free to our international students that are joining Lakehead for the first time. So to speak to that a little bit more, can you chat about why it's important and why students should utilize that service?
It's like you are international student, so especially like you are out from like your home country. So Lakehead International is like a kind of medium. We'll be helping you to adapt in Canada. And then regarding with like immigration stuff, that one is very important. And then your connection is actually linking your connection. Just like me, I don't speak Hindi or Punjab, but my coworker are like who is Punjabi speaker and speak like Hindi. So I know how to like learn their culture and learn their language. So just like finding me, some of my language is actually from Sanskrit. So sometimes they speak, I know. Like I just learned like Sat Sri Akal from like one of my friends called Yaman. He always like teach me how to speak Punjab. And then because I'm working as an international student assistant, you also be an impromptu translator. Just like I'm Mandarin speaker, sometimes speak Cantonese, so I always been calling by my supervisor or director to speak in a very formal event, like translate everything,
Sure.
including translate documents, and sometimes we've been like translating during a formal event. Yeah.
Awesome. So speaking to that a bit more too is the fact that a fun fact you had shared with our audience in our part one of today's session was that you are a multilingual speaker. You are fluent in 3 languages, English, Mandarin, and then the native language. Exactly. Yeah. So having that diverse knowledge of language is really a great asset to work in the International Student Center. So if anyone is to come in and there's a bit of a language barrier, or they need help, or they're just more comfortable speaking in their own language, I know that I've even needed your help before to do a few translations for some videos, and we're always happy to utilize all of our different skills and bring so much to the table there.
Yeah, it's actually like don't scare about like going to Lakehead International. We do have like very nice student advisor. They're giving out academic advising stuff, and then immigration stuff by Jan. And then for us, like as an international student assistant, you guys can approach us. Like we can help you guys like to doing everything. Like because we need to engage with students, right? Like I just remember like the first time I get into this work is by recommended by my senior called Rajpit. So he's the one who like mentor me to do everything, like especially like engaging with students. So actually I've learned from there. And then one of my friend who is Yaman, also like working as directors of boards of directors in LUSU. Always like seeing him to engage with students, so making me I need to more engage with students because we are here to help all the international students.
For sure, yeah. And also speaking to the transition piece and students that are planning their journeys to Canada and they're maybe a bit concerned about what that all looks like. Do you have any advice for international students that are joining Lakehead eventually?
I do have a kind of like advice, but it's like me, I always give myself like very, I give stress to myself. So I need to force myself to come from a comfort zone. So I
For
always like
sure.
say to my junior or something like that, just like don't scare about to communicate and meet new people. Canadians are very nice. They always say sorry. So just like approach new people, especially like you come out like from your country. You already the first step you coming out from your country to study in overseas. You have a first step to coming out from your comfort zone. Why not you staying out from your comfort zone to turning to a new leaf?
For
Like
sure, yeah.
yeah.
And speaking to that, obviously students that are looking for assistance, like you, to reiterate and kind of echo what you said, reach out to us within the International Student Services offices. So whether you're meeting with our advisors, whether you're meeting with some of our student assistants, we're happy to help and we're happy to share insight. And we offer so many different support services within our department. So it's really important to kind of utilize those services and make the most of it. So if you need to chat with someone, if you need to maybe get out of your comfort zone, we offer different services. One I would definitely love to highlight is obviously our Global Ambassador Program, which I help manage, and Sylvius is a part of also. It's for students who have been on campus already for at least a semester, and they can then proudly represent Lakehead and share insight about their experience, but also they can be a great resource. So they're typically like our campus warriors, and they know all about campus. And so students, their peers and their classmates can go to them and ask for help and get answers to some of their questions.
Yeah.
So just being mindful of the time, that does bring us towards the end of part 4 today. We have covered quite a bit of ground. So we chatted about your journey to Lakehead and your journey to Canada, as well as your academics and your student experience and all the clubs that you're a part of. And most recently in part 4, we chatted about your work experience and just working as a part-time student on campus during the school year and then full-time on campus during your scheduled breaks. We will be live tomorrow for an international webinar that's called the Wednesday Weekly, and it's an admissions update. So we have our undergraduate and graduate admissions team, as well as a few international advisors on there answering your questions about the current situation, about admissions, all that sort of stuff. So I do encourage you to join on our social media channels, mostly Facebook right now. We do have the links up for the Wednesday Weekly registration, so please do that. So I do see a question right here. Can you guys give any updates about the fall intake for international students on the Thunder Bay campus? So that actually is related to obviously the global pandemic right now. And the answer to that question is it's simply too early to say the method of delivery for our courses in the fall. So students that are intending on joining us for the fall, we're communicating with you that you should continue moving forward with your application and your admissions processes, because either way, we can guarantee that we will have fall courses this year. Obviously, given the current situation, we want to ensure the safety of our faculty, staff, and students. And so with that, we can't say just yet what method of delivery those courses will be this fall. But also, if you've already applied to Lakehead, feel free to know and be encouraged by the fact that we will communicate any updates to you about the situation via email. We also have a dedicated website, lakeheadu.ca/coronavirus. And if you visit that website, we have regular updates as well as the frequently asked questions regarding the current situation for our graduating students, our current students, but most importantly, in your case, our future students. If you have any questions, we most likely have some answers populated already there. So like I said, this was our part 4 of our Instagram Live today. So I will wrap it up here, and I will thank Sylvius for joining me. And hopefully we'll see everyone again soon. Alrighty, bye.
Bye.